Hi. Oh, welcome to my tube. I'm Standing Turtle, Heoka, Empath. I just like having these little talks on the way I feel about things. I hope you are having a good day, whatever time of day your day is, wherever you receive this. I got to spend some outside time with the cat this morning. I took Nikon outside for a little bit. We were screwing around. Got some pretty good snaps of a hummingbird. If I have enough patience later, I'll try to transfer him from the card over to my Snapnax account on Facebook. Maybe try and upload a couple on my Snapnax on Instagram. That might be easier. It's just, I don't have a desktop and I don't have a mouse, and technology gets bound up and it's not real useful, and human-computer interface is crap these days, so what do? You just hope to allow. Anyway, got some good snaps. That one's kind of cool. I just like screwing around. And seeing what happens. But I don't like infringing on other people's stuff. I don't like breaking things to do that either. I'm all about vibes and frequency, and everything is run in vibes and frequency, and people are really finding out who just don't got none. There are people that don't have any frequency. They don't got no vibe. They don't. They got a heartbeat. But they allowed their spirit to get covered up. Shroud and ego. The desire, the chase for money, property, prestige, the finer things in life that you can't take with you. All those are no vibrational things, and people are coming into their spirit, and it fills my heart with joy. And then I'm skeptical at the same time, because with great power comes great responsibility. People are coming into their power. It's really cool. They're superpowers. They're kinetic. I listened to a talk a little while ago with about from the Ozarks. Ozark Mountain Publishing. That's Dolores Cannon's publishing company. That's a nice anthole if you're new to the spiritual game, the quantum part of it. Yeah, it's a big part of what I do. I tap into energies, and there was a talk by Carol Pate, and Carol Pate has given me a lot of valuable information in my knowing. She's okay, that makes sense. I thought that, and I believe this is my belief system, and she confirms that and verifies that. Her ego is just so big sometimes that I can't hear the message, because all I hear is la la la, I'm really important, I got all these great gifts. And yeah, you do. But when you do that la la la, that's ego stuff, and it changes the color of your aura, just like she was talking about the end of her talk today. She was talking about the chakras and how to reorder. Well, I've done all this stuff my whole entire life, and it hasn't put me in advantage in life, because I've always chosen to live from the spirit, because I know about karma, and karma scares me. I respect karma. I respect the power of me getting back what I give out. And I've given out very, very strong, aggressive, angry power to get my way. I've scared a lot of people. And the funny part about me being so ooga booga scary is I'm freaking like 5'2". 5'2" motherfucking inches tall. And like, men are afraid of me. And those are the egos, because those are the people that have to control. And so they see people that you can't control. I've had grown men since I've lived here, and this probably happened 2 years ago. Energies were hot. Yeah, it was in that gray area where I jumped off the wagon. People always speed up and down the street. I'm always freaking yell at people to slow down. This dude was going like freaking 40 in a U-Haul. just gunning through. And I freaking flipped him off. I just flipped him off. Dude locks up his brakes, gets out, run full boards at me. I'm standing turtle. I just stood there. Like, what? Are you gonna, if, I'll brace myself. You're gonna feel like you're gonna run into it, Because this is when my car got repoed. So I had like 8-pack abs and stuff like that. And I will fight back in self-defense. I am trained to do that. And this guy he runs right up and I could smell alcohol in his breath. Or I could smell it. And I don't know if he was like drinking then, but a drinker, it's just always on him. You always smell it. It's always coming out of their pores. So even if they're not drunk, they're just the wet drunk. Oh God, I'm so glad that I rid my ego of that damnation. So but he fucking runs right up, stops right in front of me, and he's like, dyke. And I was like, dyke? Oh my goodness. I thought you had more than that, but you are just more of the same. And then his wife gets out, or his sister, or somebody of his relation, and she was gray and sick, and she was trying to get in my face too. And I was like, oh, my heart goes out to you, because she wasn't long for life, maybe a couple years. She was gray. People aren't supposed to be gray. That is ego. That is somebody doing so much of something that they want that it's killing them. And people do that all the time. And then they make these decisions, and then they're scared about something that's interjected in society, a fear that's interjected, and because they didn't do the disciplines, they didn't see the movie Cocoon, they didn't save their nuts, they didn't do the work to stay physically fit, they didn't do that, and now they want everyone to wear a mask. And so it just shows me where the fearful are. So anyway, that talk today about her, she reads energy. That's like I do, just in a different way. So I was going down the ant hole this morning because some of us have lived these ways, and then we didn't know the words that went along with it. Like psychimetry. Psychimetry. Now, the controller and the definer, they put it in the book as the supposed. Look at the terminology. The supposed ability to discover facts about an event or a person by touching inanimate objects associated with them. Supposed. Bitch, drop supposed. It is the actual ability to do this shit, and stuff is proven time and time again. That's where the cognitive dissonance is now, is because everybody feels what a creep everybody is, but the creeps are in charge, and it's just like, and notice old girl got arrested today. I've been talking about cutting the pay of bureaucrats and politicians and police. They got a high school diploma. I have several talks about cutting their pay because they don't get what they're worth. And how long did it take to get old girl? And she was in New Hampshire. Isn't New Hampshire just like the smallest state? Frickin' the police could have walked arm in arm, and found her. And it's because people profit from her not being found. And on the same day, I saw an article where a judge named Loretta, same name as my mom, just throw out a case of Epstein because, they didn't, that's what people are figuring out. All these laws, the lawyers make laws to corrupt, to protect the corrupt and the rich. That's what all the lawyers do. And even if they can't prove or disprove their case, they can keep stuff tied up in legal shit for so long that usually the person that is in the right, they get it in the ass anyway, because they don't have enough money to keep fighting the freaking bureaucrats and all these judges that have put themselves in positions to make the world exactly how they want it. They're all corrupt. If one of them is, they all are, because you allow it. See, and people want to live like military life so much. Here you go. Here's some insight into the UCMJ. The UCMJ. Go look it up all yourself. Okay, you got a problem with somebody in your chain of command. The first person you do is go to that person. But people don't do that. people go all the way top and they say, we got a problem with your person over here, make, scare them and put them in line. And the fact is we're all spirits having a human experience, and nobody's in control of nobody. But a lot of old creepy freaking pervy dudes have profited and got to put their freaking swinging wieners in tight little places for a long time because they got to pay for it. And then now there's so much money on the earth right now, there's so much money, everybody could have enough of everything. But no, people don't want to share what they got. People don't want to share. And one day I'm gonna teach people how to share. I'm gonna share I share so much. My brother makes fun of me for sharing the way that I shared in my life. People have made like it's a detriment to share. Like it's a detriment to keep 49% for myself and give 51% away because there's so many people that have less than I do even. And I'm hoping all these freaking these new wave of freaking because everything's turning over. All the CEOs, everything's turning over. The whole world is turning over. It's raising, yeah, people are talking about 5D. Why are you going to settle on a 5D Earth? Why you got to stop there? Why aren't people more like me talking about a 6 or a 7 or an 8D Earth? Why you got to stop at a 5D Earth? You going to limit yourself like that? The all-limiting spirit is going to stop at a 5D Earth? Really? Think bigger, people. Think broader. And I can't wait till this next new wave of freaking, what do you call them? The inheritors, the people that inherit, that just get all the freaking money just because somebody died that you never even really hung out with probably much anyway. Or if you did, Anyway, all that, and start giving this stuff away to freaking the projects like me that freaking, endorsing what you support, because money, that's where I saw what both parties freaking one side of the freaking dirty coin, 131 million in contributions for an election that people are going to believe that the outcome is real or not. Maybe it will, maybe or not, who knows. Maybe we're going to see the last president, maybe we're not. We'll find out that day. The fact remains the astrology lines up, and they're all corrupt. Because when there's that much money in veterans like me, and the system is so broke, I'm not even asking for more than I deserve. I'm just asking what is owed to me and the back pay from my claim that about caused a nervous breakdown for me 2 years ago. I'm still waiting for that. Okay? But it just falls on deaf ears. And so I'm like, okay, I go through the proper channels. And it still does me no good. And I'm smart. Because the systems aren't made for people to get through to people, and because if I got $1,200 a month from the VA instead of $7, maybe one of those lawyers that pay themselves $500 an hour, and then in their positions of government, they're paid at least $170,000 or $170,000 a year, $140,000 a year. Either way, it's 2 times more than anything I've ever made in my life with my college education, and me breaking my back and hurting, not literally, figuratively, but like I used to be 1.5 inches taller. And all these people that have never known what hard work is, they don't know what hard work is, because people that know what hard work is don't disvalue life so little. And that's what we're seeing is narcissists. If they had psychological evals that came from the heart space, they would fail and they would not be in the positions where they are. But because society has been created to be the way it has for so long, they serve their purpose to create dissidence and to not help anybody and to just keep, inflate. Okay, just the military budget just keeps getting 571 billion, so a small percentage club, a group, can pay themselves so much while the rest of the country, the cracks keep getting wider. And people are waking up to this, because when you have a spirit, you come from a spirit place, that shit makes you sick. That shit makes you sick. You can't live. You can't watch people. Every person on the street, even if I don't give them money, I look them in the eye. I look them in the eye and I nod. I acknowledge you as a human being. I have nothing for you monetarily right now, you know, but I acknowledge you as a human being. And sometimes I'll get a loaf or two of bread and just keep them and then I'll drive around. Oh, dude, hey, dude, you know, stuff like that. You know, just, hey, man, what's up? I see you. You know, what's your story? Because you know, they're just all people that got tired of freaking playing games. Just tired of freaking playing with the nonsense. You know, the constant updates when the updates don't serve any purpose. And it's just like, well, it worked before when I did this and now it's not today. So, well, I guess it's not supposed to happen. There's a lot of stuff about daddy issues, sex stuff coming up, healing. That's what people are supposed to do. I never really had daddy issues. I mean, I just always, just dudes are just D-bags to me. That's all, they're bags of D. That's it. That's it. I mean, I'm sure there's a lot of wonderful men out there. I just haven't really crossed a whole lot, passed with a whole bunch of them, you know. I've seen them, I've heard stories about them. They're kind of like snuffleupagus to me. But I have known a handful of good men. Men, you know, that are the variety that are of the monogamous spirit and have, you know, only love for one woman, and so therefore all other women are safe. You know, they're the protector. But a lot of women don't know those kind of men because they didn't have I didn't have a father that was like that. I had a father that was a freaking dude, looked like a porn star with his mustache, you know, till his accident. But you know, young, virile, all the ladies loved him. He could, they just all loved him. Or just, you know, I just think about, I'd live in a mansion if I had a penis. I was born on April 9th. I encompass that Hugh Hefner, like, you know, and Jenna Jameson sexuality. I encompass that. You know what? I also know about karma, and I am also the monogamous type heart space that chasing sensations for me is for one vibrational frequency that's close to mine, and I thought I knew who that was, and I was wrong about that. So back to the drawing board too. That's the thing, is we get it. I don't ever hang on to any idea 100% that I'm right. I'm absolutely right. This is how things are. And if people don't believe me, well, then they're just... No. Because I'm always getting data, and energy always ebbs and flows, and one day, you know, my astrology lines up and I can see it this way from more of the shadow side, and then one day I'm coming more from the higher aspects and I see it more from this way, and okay, I see that. You know, it's all energy and changing. It's the people that are stuck in the same, that things that have to be the same all the time, the same people have to be in the charge, the same rules, you know, all that stuff. But the reality of it is the people without ego play those systems so that they can take advantage of the people that do follow the rules, that understand rules and respect those that are here just to keep us safe and things like that. But there are stupid rules that people profit from, and all that shit is the stuff that's dying. And quite frankly, good fucking riddance. Daddy issues. I have a hard time with freaking Longmire because of that whole storyline. It just makes my third eye twitch. I'm just like, oh my god, you know, that dude. What was his name? David Foster. That dude, freaking 36-year-old wife. He's 71. The storyline's played out time and time again. The girl that's in it always says, "But it's not like that. Our situation's different." But the reality of it is there's a mind space that was missing out on something, and then they get that loving, kind, nurturing from him. But it's your husband, and it's creepy and it's weird. But these are all storylines that, you know, that are coming into play, and it gets even seedier in that because there's plenty of fathers. I'm glad that this was not my storyline. I've had shitty storylines in my vibrational radio tune frequency, but mine was not incest. Thankfully. However, in this incarnation, that's the thing, is we all play degrees in the wheel spectrum. What I see is a calendar. We're all born on a day on the calendar, and then we represent of like the significance of that day, or the, you know, the planets as they line up with the significance of that day. And so, but all of us, after incarnation, it's only 360 lives to live every part of the wheel. That isn't a lot of lives. I mean, in terms of humans, so 360 times like an average life, and then you have all those lives that you're like a blade of grass, you know, that gets mowed, you know, something that's like quick, or a moth, you know. So we all have these same experiences. That's why everybody looks for, oh yeah, you look familiar to me. You never met him before, but you knew him in a past life. And they're supposed to remind you that you have a past life and that karma is very real, and wake the fuck up, motherfuckers. You know? I mean, it's just, you know? I mean, the world can be beautiful and people keep shitting on it. People keep shitting on it. Because people are scared. I hate fearful people, man. I don't go out because the fearful, I'm not fearful. But to avoid the fearful people, I stay home and I float around in the space. This is my spaceship, my address. My house is my space. That's what I always looked at houses, because like, even when I went out in like Nebraska, it's just like, God, the humidity is so hot, the mosquitoes suck so bad, and it's like you go out this time of day, otherwise it's just like there's time and places to do things, you know. But I did get to hang out with the cat this morning. Got some cool pictures. So that David Foster guy made me think of like all the people named David, because just like people, you know, we're born on the same day and we have the same similar mind spaces with people that we're born on the same day with. Everybody has the free will choice to live from spirit or ego. And more than 51% of the people on the planet have been living more than 51% from ego, me included. And the shift is that people are we're leaning more into the 51% of spirit. Because it's balance. That's how energy goes. Freaking dark and evil can't win all the time, man. You know, waiting for karma to catch up with people, trying to be principled about shit, but then, you know, putting people on blast at the same time. It's a tricky, slippery slope, balance-wise, you know, and I freaking rack up karma, every negative karma, too, all the time, because sometimes I'm like, fuck it, this one's worth it. Let's dance. My spirit and your ego, but I gotta dip into my ego, too, so. Take what's good and leave the rest, you know, like that talk that I heard this morning. I hear a lot of talks that like that there's so much ego. I have a hard time with the Leo cub because of that. I mean, kid's smart. He has a lot of good stuff to say, but it's just turn down your ego, man. But it's him doing him. It's him doing him, and that's me, Leo, in my third house that is triggered. So that's me saying, Marge, your ego. That's what sucks about self-awareness, man. You can't blame anybody else for your for your own shit ever again. So when people try and tell me that I'm a victim or a cop-out or trying to freaking play people's sympathy and stuff like that, I'm like, dude, I can't get people's sympathy. I straight up tell people, you know, I can't get the city people to hear me. I haven't had water. Here is why. I have the documentation. I have hundreds of pictures of the project. I have the stories about how they outsourced the big concrete pieces, the big huge concrete pieces they had made up in Washington. They took jobs out of local concrete workers, local people. They took jobs out of their pocket because somebody knew somebody in Washington. Dude, you think shipping from Amazon is freaking expensive? I was talking to the truck driver. That delivered it. I'm like, because I was in the Air Force. I was in support. I was in maintenance. I was, you know, in all about, you know, and the bigger the freaking, the smaller the wiener they were trying to swing, the more money they would spend on making their production real. See those big old concrete blocks? See him? This is why I don't have water, because they spent so much money on this. And then all of the I have it on, go look at on my greed waste in Salem. I have this, I put up, I record where the sprinklers go off. They went off several times a week to water weeds. That's where I get my water, because my water usage went up in there, and I'm on a fixed income, so I couldn't account for them wasting water. That's why I don't have water. But with all the people and all the land and all the justice and all the world, none can fucking fall anywhere for me. But there's churches I can go down and I can get a voucher if I fill out a piece of paper and wait in a chair long enough, where a tax exempt church where the community just gives them money to tell them about shit that I tell people every day for fucking free, will give me a voucher for $125. Gee, thanks, God. That's why fucking organized religion is stupid to me, and anybody that I see that is that devout and gives, you know, oh, and the Austintines and the Myers and oh, you have so much and so many properties, and well, if you allow, it's just more on your watch, man. It's just more hypocrisy. But the world is changing. The world is a changing. So yeah, more people are starting to read Aura. I thought it was interesting about how the Tate chick was talking about how she had met 2 people with black aura. I mean, more people have black aura than that, but she had only met 2 people. See, I've met a lot of sadists. I've known a lot of anybody on the 39, anybody with that has the potential for that vibrational frequency. And I talk about 39th, 40th parallel a lot. I grew up, you know, Redding, California. I'm trying to get back somewhere around there, not necessarily there. Just a little cabin for me and Mom on a hill next to a stream someplace. You know, not too close, not too far from a city. And maybe have a couple visitors come every now and again. Just hang out, and I'll show them. I'm a great tour guide. Show you all over Northern California, Mount Shasta, Bernie Falls. Oh, God, there's so much goodness out here, man. Anyway, so I'll just check out 40th. That's where a lot of Masonic temples are lined up all across the United States. Masonic temples, you know, sadists. They all see. That's the thing, is either you can, there's benefits. You can freaking cut organs out of goats and all. They do that evil, dark, black magic stuff. You can do that. You can get knowings and tells and you know, outcomes and all that stuff. The perks of that. But you're taking the spirit. You are taking free will, the spirit of life, and for that there's karma. You don't get to do that. So yeah, there's also the same disciplines and the same outcomes with more discipline. You can have the same reward, it just takes longer. See, all that black magic, it's just the shortcuts, cheaters way. You got the white magic, it's just more discipline, takes longer, and you ain't fucking cutting nobody's throat and doing nothing to no kids. That's the difference. It's not hard to decipher. Taking of something's will, not taking of something's will. Free will, control. I mean, it's not hard. And I mean, so when people buy into the stuff that just touts about caring about things, you are more that no vibrational beings. And I hope you find your spirit. That's about all I got for now. Hope you have a rad day. Peace.